A quiet morning across the area. Very mild though. May not even need a jacket this morning. Sunrise coming up here in just a little while, less than 30 minutes from now. 6:12 a.m. this morning. We'll have 13 hours, 24 minutes worth of daylight to enjoy. Really the last day where we're going to see temperatures in the 80s at least over the next 10 days. No other 80s showing up in our 10-day forecast. Checking in though this morning, again fairly quiet outside. We should have a great sunrise on the eastern horizon. We've got a few breaks in the clouds. We are tracking a few more clouds starting to work their way across southeast Missouri right now. Live views from Mount Vernon, Metropolis, Sparta, and Poplar Bluff. A great view there from Sparta down in the left-hand corner of your screen as we do have a little more sunshine showing up there on the eastern horizon. Again, very warm outside where the clouds are a little thicker, especially across southeast Missouri. Temperatures are into the mid to upper 60s right now. 66 in Cape, 68 in Sikeston, low to mid 60s across much of southern Illinois. Carbondale at 68, Mount Vernon at 65, Harrisburg right now at 64 degrees, and all is quiet. There's the increase in clouds right now in southeast Missouri, parts of southwest Illinois. No rain locally right now, though. That will change later on today. Today, again, a very warm day. It is going to be very windy. Could see some wind gusts, especially here through the first half of the day, possibly anywhere from 35 to nearly 40 miles per hour from the south and the southwest. Those storms hold off until tonight, so a lot of the daylight hours will be dry today, but storms start to make their way through our region this evening and set up a pretty wet evening and a pretty wet night for our region. Eventually, the cold front does work its way all the way through our area, and by the weekend, some really cold weather in store for us for this time of year. We're talking about the potential for some patchy frost by, say, Sunday morning, but this morning, there's the cold front out to our west, some storms out near Kansas City. That cold front produced a lot of severe weather last night into Oklahoma City, parts of eastern Kansas. This evening, we do expect, again, the storms to eventually start to ramp up. This is about 3 o'clock, though, this afternoon. We're still dry at that point. Temperatures into the low 80s. There's the storms developing right along the I-44 corridor from St. Louis back towards the southern part of Missouri. Those storms start to make their way into southwest Illinois and parts of southeast Missouri closer to about 6 o'clock. Initially, some of these storms could be pretty strong. I think we are likely going to see some severe thunderstorm warnings later on today. The main threat is going to be some isolated hail and some isolated strong damaging winds. Notice as we get later and later into the evening hours, though, some of these storms start to lose some intensity by about 9-10 o'clock, but the rain kind of stalls out over top of us. The cold front sits right over top of us and does not move very much through the overnight hours. So heavy rain possible southern Illinois, southeast Missouri later on tonight. By Friday morning at daybreak, this rain gradually working its way south and eastward. Now there's a secondary storm system late in the day on Friday that actually could bring some more rain northward. So there will likely be a break in the rain, but we could see some more than Friday afternoon. By Saturday morning, rain's all out of here. Temperatures dropping back into the lower 40s. But the Storm Prediction Center putting much of southeast Missouri in a level 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. Notice level 1 for southern Illinois. The main threat would be large hail, again damaging winds. I still at this point am more concerned about the flooding threat. We've shifted this a little further to the north and the west. Up to 2.5 inches of rain possible in some areas of southern Illinois and southeast Missouri. 35 by Sunday morning and then Monday morning. If we see any frost develop, it would likely be both of those mornings. So as you go to bed Saturday night, it may not be a bad idea to cover up some of those sensitive flowers. Maybe you've already planted some of your garden. May not be a bad idea to take some precautions there. It does right now look like we'll be talking about patchy frost. We'll bounce back in the 60s though by the middle of next week.
All right, Nick. Well, I'm sure coming up here in just a moment, we'll be able to ask you a little bit more about this flooding threat that's going to happen tonight. We'll have more on that.